Hello there, my name is Anthony Barocas with IEB Communications, and today I have a slightly offbeat video. I want to talk about smartwatches. Now, smartwatches are a thing that have just really grown up over the past few years, and there's a lot of people making a lot of different smartwatches, and I have tried many of them, and I have only found one that I really like, and it's not made anymore. So I am just going to go through some of the things that I like, some of the things I don't like, and maybe viewers out there can help me find the next replacement smartwatch for me. So what I have here is I have a collection of smartwatches. We have a Fossil, we have a Amazfit, we have a Samsung, and we have a selection of Pebbles here. And the thing really is, I started with a Martian watch. I've tried a Wise watch. I've tried another, small smartwatch, and I purchased a Pebble. And this was after Pebble had already closed. I purchased a Pebble. Actually, no, it was before Pebble closed. They were doing their third Kickstarter for the Pebble Time 2. And this is the Pebble Time. And this watch, let me clear these out. This watch has the an e-ink display. So this is always on. Anytime you want to look at this watch, this is what you'll see. Actually, you see a little hair there or something. I don't. This is what you'll see. It's easy to navigate. You can go into the settings. You can come out. If you want to see your health, you can go up this way. If you want to come down this way, you can see your daily agenda, come out. And I have these programmed so that if I press and hold this, it will allow me to send a quick message. And if I press and hold the middle one, it'll go and send me my notifications. It'll just bring them right back up. And if I press and hold the top one, it will launch the stopwatch, because I find myself timing things a lot. So this was something that I needed on ready access to a button. Go back, and then if you press and hold the back button, it'll actually go into quiet time and it won't buzz. So if you're going to bed and people are still messaging you, that basically tells the watch to ignore that. And we're going to turn that off. And this is the Pebble. It's a magnetic charge on the back. It just clips right in there, magnetically charges. It's waterproof, or kind of waterproof. I have taken them in the water, but now that you can't get these anymore, and I did have one where the water got in and messed it up, I don't take these in the water anymore because I want these to last as long as possible. Even though, as you can see, it says 30 meters water resist. Maybe when they were made, they had water resistance, but after you use them for 5 years, they're not as durable as they were when they were made. And if I could still buy these today, I would absolutely go out and buy new ones. The e-ink display, which you can see here, is always available. You look at it day or night in the bright sun. It looks super fantastic. You can see it's got a little bit of yellow, black trace on the bottom one, white trace on the top one. When the minute changes, you'll see there's an actual animation. If you want to send a message, it does a little animation. It's a very fun little watch to have. And one of the key factors that makes the Pebble really approachable is the fact that with this low power display, this watch when new ran for 10 to 15 days. There goes the animation. 15 days between charges. So day, night, wherever you're going, you don't even think about it. Maybe when it gives you an alert saying battery's low, you put it on charge for an hour, you're done. You don't even really think about it. Whereas, you spend $300 for a watch like this, it's on, but you can't see it. You got to wake it up. There you go. Now you can see the display. And then this is the low power display. And eventually this will just cycle off and go away. And using it is a lot harder, but you can't really tell from this angle. But you go to this angle, and you can see that the thickness of these watches is remarkable. This thing is much thicker, much heavier. It's got 2 physical buttons, which I was looking forward to. It has this physical rotating bezel, which makes it easy to get through things, especially if you're wearing a watch, a glove, or something like that. So you can see it's Frisco, 87 degrees. That's great. Some calendar items. There's my alarm, how many steps I took today. Actually, I didn't take that many steps today because I just turned this one on for the video. My sleep, time in Beijing, and other things that I can add. So there's a good bit of functionality with that dial. I like that idea. But this thing I have found is like I'm moving it and it actually turned itself off. So here I am looking at my watch and I'm shaking my hand and it says, screw you, I'm not going to show you what time it is. Just that is an annoyance. And I know you can set it to be on. There it goes. You can set it to be on, but then the battery doesn't last very long at all. And it already, there it goes. That's the darker, and then it goes all the way away. This already will not last a whole day. With messages and everything, this will not last a whole day. And that is killer for me. The fact that this watch will not last a whole day, I mean, it just boggles my mind that, and I understand this has LTE, but there's no SIM in it, so I'm not using that. It is literally Bluetooth to my phone, and Samsung may tout 4 days. No, I don't get a full day, and I have to drop it into the little cradle. They say it comes with a cradle here, so I have to drop it into the cradle, and then it's going to do its little charging thing, and that is just killer for me, is the fact that I can't get multi-day. Like, basically, for me, a week minimum is like my default at this point. A week minimum. I have other Pebble watches as well. There's a Pebble Round, and then I have a Pebble Round in black. You can see they're both saying that they're not connected to my phone, so there's visual indication of what's going on. And again, these are all always on displays. So these two, this is how they will look 24/7. There's a backlight, so if it's super dark, you can press something and you see it lights up, and you can see the refresh rate, and then it fades out. And that is a really good feature in that it doesn't light up unless I hit a button and ask it to do something. I can make it light up like with a couple taps or something like that, or moving your wrist, so that at night, if you want to see what time it is, you could do that and see what time it is. Alternatively, here's another example. This is an Amazfit, and this is the always on version of the display, and this is when it's awake. Now this is actually pretty good in visibility, and then it dims, and then it goes to that, and for whatever reason it flashes just like you saw, and I have not figured out why, and it does that all the time. I could be laying in bed not moving and it'll flash just for no reason. At night, this is too bright. It's actually illuminating the pillow next to me. During the day, if you go outside, you literally cannot see this. You have to push the button in order for the brighter display to come up. So the always on display, unless the lighting is just right, is either too dark or too bright, which is useless. And moving it does not wake up the display. You have to physically push the button, which is like the Pebble, but the fact that you can't see the display as easily as the Pebble in bright light. If you've got bright light, you can see the Pebble. It's just a fact of life. Another one that I tried is Fossil. Has this hybrid, which is like the e-ink displays on the Pebble, except it's not color. It's just gray. But you can customize what you get on there, like the Pebbles. As you can see on these Pebbles, I have a bunch of different types of displays and different, faces. There are thousands of them, so you can get as crazy as you want. This, you can actually put your own design there. You can put whatever complications you want on the display. That's really cool. The downside is it's not very readable. It's thin. You can't change the font. You can't make it any thicker. You can't make that bigger or smaller. The complication size is the complication size, and you have no control over it. You just can put it where you want to, whether it's got the circle around it or not, and then you can build a design in which it sits. So like these little dots and everything. Those are part of the design. So that whole center part right there is the display. So you see I have no notifications, and you come back out. You've got 3 buttons on this. The bezel does not move. It kind of looks like it would, but it doesn't. It's fake. Top button takes me to the weather, which is what I have set it for. And there you go. It went and got the weather. Then we go back out. That's oh, this is down button. Go back up button. Go back up button. Okay, press and hold. The downside with the Fossil is it's not the most easiest thing to use. Down button does timer, so if you want to set a timer for cooking pasta or cooking whatever, you can put a couple defaults in here. You double tap, a backlight will come on. I'll show you something really interesting about that in a minute. The backlight will come on. If you press and hold this, that takes you back. If I press and hold it again, it takes you to settings. And go back. Oh no, I didn't want to select that. Always off. Okay, fine. Press and hold. Go back home. Oh, go up. Yeah, there we go. Up, and then we select. It's not the most intuitive because sometimes you have to move things around in order to select. Other times it's a direct button press, and other times just pressing center takes you to home, except when you're in a menu, in which case pushing the center doesn't take you to home. So it's not consistent. So this is good on one hand, not as good on the other hand. And ironically, if you look at the size of these two e-ink displays, this one's color, and it comes out 5 years before this one does. This one, they're about the same size, and I dare say you can read this one a lot easier from a distance. And if you wanted to match it with a red shirt, you can do that. And that's why this one's red. I don't have a green shirt. That's just one of the colors. But this one I remember setting for a red shirt that I had. And you can really get into the nitty gritty of what the complications are, how the font looks. Is it offset? Do you have do you have a leading 0? Are you going to do 15, 22, things like that? You can get into that. This, for the time part, it's a physical face. So, it's always there. When it's dark, here, let's make it dark. It's always there, and it actually self-illuminates. The hands and the hour dots actually are luminescent. So that at night, unlike all these other ones, this one will actually softly tell you what time it is at a glance at night. So that's a win for this. The real face is a win. You see those backlights coming in kind of as a crosshatch? That is really hard to see. To make out at night. It's easy to make it light up, but it's not illuminating the face evenly. On the other hand, the Pebble, you can see it. It's perfect. And it lights up when you ask it to. I'm going to light up, I'm going to stay lit for 5 seconds, and then I'm going to go out. The Samsung, it's going to light up, and it's super bright. There's a meeting tonight at 7. It knows that because it's synced with my calendar. But let's just say I wanted to send a message. All right, so no, not Samsung Pay. No, not that. There we go. So you come over here in the messages. Oops, messages, and select messages. And then there's Tyler. So I go into this one, and then new message. Delete. Yes, I'm going to send a new message to Tyler, and then I'm going to say, oh no, not a new. Next. Back. Okay. Don't know what is going on. Can you say not intuitive? Let's see. Is it here? Oh, so it's not new message to this person. Great. Go back. There we go. So now I can, here is a voice reply to the message. Then you can say send there. So that is a way that you can discard changes. Yes. Send a message to someone that you've been messaging, and You have to look at it, you have to touch it, you have to use the dial, you have to use like all the different versions of the interface on the Samsung to get this to work. Let me bring the light back up. For comparison, if I was using my Pebble and I wanted to send someone a message that I'm on my way home, I press and hold the bottom button, I say select, can message, on my way. I have sent it. That is it. That is all you need to do on a Pebble. And that is one of the key things that the Pebble has like killed the market with, is simplicity. It makes it easy to do your daily things. The Pebble is not a fitness device. And I see all of these watches trying to be the best fitness tracker, your sleep tracker, your heart tracker, your menstruation tracker, your REM sleep tracker, your afib tracker, your everything tracker. And honestly, I don't need anyone to know any of that. I don't need any of that data sitting in anybody's cloud that gets sold to somebody else's cloud, that gets sold to somebody else's cloud, and then gets aggregated into general data that gets sold to somebody else. It's between me and my doctor. And until we iron out the data thing, I'm happy having a dumb watch that does not track my heart, that does not track my biorhythm, that does not track, my perspiration, my O2 level, my, I don't need it to track all of these things. If I am if my doctor says I'm healthy, it's probably not going to change day to day. If I go to my regular checkups, I'll know how healthy I am. I will know my blood glucose level. I will know my A1C level. I will know my lipid level. And all of those things are not going to change on a second by second basis. So I don't need a watch to track any of that for me. I want a watch to be my daily assistant. I want a watch to be my Jarvis, to tell me what meetings are coming up. I want a watch to tell me, to help me send a message to someone important. I want a watch to let me get a message from someone important and let me see it day or night, bright sun or not. I want a watch to tell me what time it is and make it easy for me to see that. And if it can make it fun for me, even better. I want it to help me with a specific task. Like I have a nav thing in my watch. It's called Nav Me. And when I am driving, it's connected to my phone. So if I'm not paying attention to the navigation, or I had it turned down because we're in a discussion, it actually buzzes me when I get to that 2 miles, bzz, and I look at it, oh, 2 miles, make a left. It's a physical tap on the shoulder, and that is being a great assistant. And that is what I think a watch, a smartwatch, should be, a great assistant. And smartwatches that try so much to be fitness coaches, I'd rather buy a fitness device for those tasks. And it's getting more and more difficult for my Pebbles to keep up because they aren't made anymore. They're several years old, and the batteries that used to last 10 days now last 5, maybe 4. The Pebble Round, which used to last 7, may last 3, or maybe last 2. And that's getting to my threshold of being a good assistant. Is if I have to charge this thing up every single day, then that's me spending time on remembering to do this thing for the watch. I have, this watch has been running for at least 14 days, and you can see the battery is about done. Actually, you can't because the hand is in the way. But if you move it, it's kind of hard to do because it's not on. There we go. It'll spin the hands around. If you move it, it'll spin the hands around. No. If you move it, okay, fine. But you saw it spins the hands, so you can get a quick glance at whatever icon you want to get the data. And when a message comes in, it moves the hands to 9 and 3. But those hands are always there, and they're always taking up some of the screen real estate, which at that point makes even the tiny Pebble Time Round have more screen real estate because there's nothing taking up any of the space in the middle. So if you go into the menu, you could easily see all the things that are available, and there's nothing in the way of you working with your Pebble. If I want to set an alarm on this thing, I actually can't set an alarm on this thing. I have not figured out how to do that. I have to use my phone to set the alarm to do something on here. And in terms of waking up, I could also say that the Pebble is the only device to reliably wake me up in the morning. The Pebble vibration is, this is a Pebble Time steel, and this is a Pebble Time. The only difference really is a larger battery in this one, and they took some of this showy bezel away. The screen's not any bigger, but there's just less showy bezel. So they were available in different colors. This is the white one. Also water resistant to 30 meters, not really. This is a replacement leather band. And the vibration in these, which is adjustable, can wake me up. Let's go into settings. Vibrations, high, different types of vibrations, bzz, 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 or ramping, or just buzz, buzz, buzz. You've got lots of customability in here, customizability in this device. Whereas the this one, literally, if I set a 20-minute reminder, I don't feel it. So the vibration in the Fossil is useless. The vibration in the Amazfit, okay, the vibration in the Amazfit is actually good. It doesn't always wake me up in the morning. It's good. It's not as strong as I would like it to be, but it's way stronger than the Fossil. And it has a good, I would say, 15 to 20 day battery, even with the big display. So this thing's going to be like half battery in there. And as you can see, compared to the Pebble Time Round, the size of the display is big. The downside is you get like zero customizability. It is like you can choose a watch face, but for the longest time, this watch face was 24 hours only, and you couldn't set it to be 1 p.m. They made an update and made it that way, but I couldn't change it. It was either this is how the watch face is or tough. And it has a touch screen. So like if you wanted to go into the menu here, come on, there you go, notifications, weather, alarm, you can set an alarm here. There you go, 5:55 in the morning, 6:05 in the morning. You can set an alarm here. As I says, setting an alarm on this device, haven't figured it out. I use the watch to try and do that. Setting an alarm on the smaller but much more expensive Samsung is also something that I have done, but if you ask me, why does it keep going to Samsung Pay? No, I'm just tapping, like, wake up. There it is, alarm. So there it is, 5:55 and 6:05. So you can set them on here. And you could also move around this way, and then that's your back button, and settings, watch faces. So there is a lot of capability in this, but again, I'm just looking for an assistant. And for me, the greatest assistant is the one that doesn't get in your way. And for me, that has been the Pebble series of watches, because it's just so simple, so easy, so friendly in the way they do things. When you want to send that message, it doesn't just send a message. It gives you that little paper airplane, and people are like, oh, but you can dictate to the Samsung watch because it's got a microphone on it. Well, guess what? This tiny little Pebble Time Round has a microphone on it. and look at the difference between 1 day of battery life on top and originally 7 days of battery life in the Pebble Time below it. I mean, literally the Pebble Time is almost, you could stack 2 of them in the same thickness as the Samsung. And the Pebble is just 100 times easier to deal with on a daily basis. And when you're wearing this thing, it doesn't feel like you're wearing anything. It slips under a sleeve. It's so light, you don't even notice it's there. The vibration on this one is not as strong as the vibration of the bigger one. But even the bigger one, the time is not that much thicker. I think this is 7 millimeters. I think this might be 11. And I have to say that I will be selling my Samsung. I paid top dollar for it, and I will be selling this because I literally don't like it. It's annoying. It's too many convoluted ways of getting to something and wearing it. It is a brick. It is this honking thing that sticks out, and it has got to be. It feels like it's twice as heavy. It's definitely twice as heavy as the Pebble Time round. It is a beast. I will credit it in that it can do anything that you wanted it to do. Just getting it to do it is hard. It actually makes a sound when it doesn't just vibrate. It makes a little playing noise out the built-in speaker. You could actually, this is an LTE version, so I could actually set this up with service and just bring this as my only device and not my phone, and still accept calls, talk to people, and do messages and everything. I'm not going to browse the web on this screen, but this is a very capable device. But you could have the greatest capability, like, oh, I can buy an H1 Hummer because it's a very capable device. But in terms of parking it and driving it and fuel efficiency and just the ease of use and the, being a useful tool on an everyday basis, the H1 Hummer would not be my tool of choice. And this is kind of like the H1 Hummer of watches. And this is like a Toyota Camry. And it just does everything you needed to do without any sort of fuss. It does it very efficiently and is just always there ready to help you. And, it's just a great friend, a great partner, a great assistant to you doing your daily life of stuff. And I know this has kind of been ranty, and I'll wrap it up at 30 minutes, but I am looking for what is the next watch I should look at to replace the Pebble, because Pebbles are not being made anymore. Pebble went out of business several years ago, and Fitbit bought the IP, and that was then mostly sold to Google. But before Pebble turned off the servers, an outside group called Rebel secured the rights to keep those servers running. So you can actually still download watch faces. You can still go into your Pebble app. You can go into your Pebble app and say, watch faces, I want to add. And then it will load up watch faces. And there are tens of thousands of crazy, cool watch faces out there in the market. There are watch faces, there are apps, there are solutions, there are all kinds of great things. And the voice dictation for a reply to a text message that someone sent you is still available. It's still working through the support of Rebel, and I think it only costs $3 a month. And the guy who founded Rebel, who decided he wanted to make a small Android phone, and try to make a messaging app that collects all the messaging apps, he published a article on Medium and said that he has learned a lot from his time at Pebble, and he knows why it failed. And I'm like, if you know why Pebble failed and you are interested in doing something new and meeting the needs of a market, a tiny Android phone, which is what he published that he wants to do, is probably not the right solution. Because a lot of people are leaving the Android market because it is just so competitive, and making a tiny phone, actually the phone he said he wanted to make is literally just like my Galaxy S10e right here. He says he wants to make an Android phone that has a headphone jack, a speaker, it's waterproof, has a wide angle and a regular camera, has a 6-inch screen, is small and lightweight, will last for all day on the battery. And I'm like, you're describing my Galaxy S10e. So we have similar minds, but my thought is, if he has learned so much about what made Pebble fail, and there's unfinished business with Pebble in that they had a prototype for the Pebble Time 2. They know who the suppliers are. They know what the supply chain is. They know who the manufacturers are in China. And the IP is not being used. And the servers are still there. And there's a loyal customer base. And why don't you just go and fix Pebble? Why don't you show us that you can do this? Show us that you can go and do Pebble right. Learn from the mistakes. Add that monthly subscription for voice activation and whatever other services there are that could be a monthly subscription. That would be continuous revenue that Pebble didn't have originally. And have that keep coming in on a regular basis as additional revenue in addition to the equipment sales. And I mean, Pebbles are still bought and sold today. Pebbles are still in use by people around the world on a daily basis today, more than 5 years after the company went out of business. And why is that? Is because there is literally no other good solution. I have this whole video is about the fact that I have tried a half dozen other smartwatches and they all suck. They all absolutely suck when compared to the Pebble for the purpose of being your life assistant. That's the key. I don't want a touch screen. I don't want heart rate monitoring. I don't want afib. I don't want, it to tell me to get up in 20 minutes, because if I'm working, I'm working. If I'm not working, I'm not working. I don't need a watch to be a nag. Although there's probably an app for Pebble that did that before that became a thing on the other smartwatches. The cool thing with Pebble was that it's just a basic thing. And then anybody who wanted a particular app, they could add apps to do what they needed. Somebody that doesn't need navigation on their wrist, they don't need to load the NavMe app. You don't have to build it into every watch. Let the end users do it. Have that open API, have that customizability, have that core basic functionality nailed down like Pebble did. Have it be easy to use, so easy to use, so convenient, lightweight, runs for almost 2 weeks on a battery charge, over 1 week, that was my goal, over a week on a battery charge, and just doesn't get in your way. Like I says, when I want to send my wife a message that I'm on my way home, it's just a couple button taps and I never even have to look at it. Now, yeah, you could probably have Alexa on a watch or Google Assistant on a watch. Google, tell my wife that I'm on my way home. But at the same time, I personally like being able to do it with my hands in the middle of a conversation that I'm having in the car. I don't have to have everyone else privy to my conversation with my digital assistant and having me tell it what to do out in the open. Having a couple taps. The only other thing I could liken this to is Apple has that little silent switch. You know, you don't have to go into a menu and do a bunch of things. It's just, you just reach into your pocket and you go blip, and now the phone's not going to ring. It's as easy as that. And that's where Pebble has really, led the market. Still, 5 years after its demise, that's where Pebble still leads the market in its just convenience factor, and it's that great personal assistant. It's the Jarvis that we all want, and maybe it's the Pebble of not the Pebble, it's the Palm Pilot of smartwatches. Now, eventually the Palm Pilot got surpassed by, super technical things, but you'll often see in my tech reviews this watch or this watch. Why? Because they are my, as they say, daily drivers. I will occasionally be wearing this. My Fossil has proven to be very rugged. It's a good outdoor watch. It's a good when I'm going in the pool. I don't want to lose these. I can still buy this off the shelf. So the Fossil, sorry Fossil, but this is my beater watch. If I'm doing yard work, if I'm working around the pool, if I'm going to go out with the kids in the splash park, the Fossil gets the watch. If I'm going to run, then I wear a fitness device. If I'm going out to run and I'm going to do a fitness thing, I'm going to put on a fitness shirt. I'm going to put on fitness pants. I'm going to put on my running shoes. And part of putting on fitness attire is I'll put on my Amazfit watch because it has built-in GPS. So when I run, I don't have to bring my phone. I can just wear this watch and it tracks my pace. It tracks my heart rate. It tracks my path and everything, and tells me how far I ran each section and everything. A fitness device for when you're doing fitness things, not for the rest of the day. That's where this watch comes in. So, not done by 30 minutes. Sorry about that. 36 minutes. If you are still watching, I thank you for your interest in listening to me. And if you have recommendations, write them down below. I will actually go out and buy them. I will do a follow-up video. Don't recommend the Samsung. Not going to happen. Don't recommend an Apple Watch to me because I use a Samsung phone, and an Apple Watch is dead to me because Apple and Samsung compatibility is sucky at best. So no, Apple Watch is no. A Samsung watch, I've tried it, is no. Basically, if it does not get more than a week of battery life, it's a no. That is the starting point. If it has an e-ink display, that's a big thumbs up. There you go. See? There's my notification. Just came in. Also came up on this one. Also came up on this one. These two, I have to say, they actually go away really fast. This one came up and went away like almost instantaneously. This one is already away. This one, I can still read it. Pebble lets me choose how long that display stays up with a message so I can read it. Good, I got it. I could reply to it. I could say, yes, thank you very much. Boom. That's where the Pebble makes just your daily life super easy. My name is Anthony Barocas. I am the Chief Gearhead of AIBA Communications. Looking forward to your comments on what I should look at to replace my Pebble, if anything. Thanks for watching.